Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. The second fruit of the sun god has been revealed, and it is completely different from the power that Luffy possesses, and I will reveal that in today's video. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, in the world of One Piece, the mysteries surrounding the devil fruits are fundamental to understanding the plot and the evolution of the characters. Recently, an intriguing theory has gained traction, suggesting that Loki, the Prince of Elbaf's devil fruit, could be something much more powerful and mysterious than any other power we have seen so far. Unlike the mythical Hito no Mi model Nika, which grants Luffy exceptional abilities based on a state of joy, Loki's fruit would have a direct connection to the sun itself, possessing the literal power of this star. But what makes this even more fascinating is the fact that if this fruit really depends on the sun to unlock its full potential, the very nature of its strength could be the key to understanding the deepest secrets of Elbaf and the world of One Piece. Amid this possibility arises the question, why would Shanks, with all his knowledge and power, lock Loki in a place without sunlight, preventing him from accessing this monumental power? This introduction opens the door for a deeper analysis of Loki's role, his power, and the potential impacts that this mystery could have on the future of the story. I believe that Loki's story, the Prince of Elbaf, may be much more connected to the secrets of the world than it seems at first glance. Since his existence was mentioned in Chapter 858, it has been clear that he is an important figure, but at the same time, surrounded by mystery. What do we really know about him? Little has been said about his true power or about the reasons that led Shanks to act against him, but if we consider some clues scattered throughout the work, it could be that his devil fruit is at the center of it all. And what if he has a unique ability, one that directly depends on the power of the sun? If we analyze the Akuma no Mi patterns that have appeared in One Piece, few of them have a weakness beyond the classic inability to swim. Some fruits require a certain condition to function at their full potential. In Chapter 1044, we discover that the Hito no Mi model Nika can awaken and reach its true potential when Luffy is in a state of extreme joy. So, what if Loki's fruit follows a similar principle? Perhaps it needs the sun to manifest its true power. This would make sense considering that the giants of Elbaf revere the sun god, and that their culture might be linked to this element. And here comes the most important question. If his fruit is dependent on the sun, why did Shanks lock him in a place where he wouldn't have access to this energy source? The simple fact that he is locked away in a place without sunlight raises many questions. In Chapter 1054, we see that Shanks has a great interest in preventing certain individuals from reaching their full potential. He intervened when Bartolomeo challenged his name, brutally defeated Kid, and before that stole Luffy's fruit, perhaps already knowing its true identity. So, if he locked Loki in a place without the sun, this suggests that Shanks believes his power is strong enough to be a real threat. An even more interesting point arises, the origin of this Akuma no Mi. If Loki really inherited this power from his father, it could mean that the royal lineage of Elbaf has always been tied to this fruit. But if he did something against his own father, it suggests that he wanted this power only for himself, believing he could surpass any limit. However, if the fruit needs the sun to function, perhaps he underestimated its true nature. Maybe he thought he could control this power completely, but did not foresee that Shanks would act before he had the chance to use it in its full form. Another point that reinforces this theory is the fact that mythical Zoan fruits seem to have special properties that link them to divine concepts. In Chapter 1045, Kaido mentions that Zoans have a will of their own, and this could indicate that Loki's fruit has a direct connection to some god or ancestral sun entity. This would make it one of the most powerful fruits ever seen, possibly rivaling Luffy's or even any other legendary power we haven't seen yet. If this is the case, then it makes sense that Shanks decided to seal Loki in such a drastic way. If we think about who Shanks really is within the narrative, he has never been just an ordinary pirate. In Chapter 907, he met with the Gorosei, which suggests that he has some form of influence within the world government. If he is acting this way, then perhaps he already knows that Loki could be a much greater threat than anyone imagines. After all, if his fruit has such destructive power, it's possible that even the giants themselves chose to hide him rather than allow him to take the throne of Elbaf. But the main question remains, what exactly can this fruit do? If it needs the sun to activate its true potential, this means that it likely absorbs or stores solar energy in some way. In Chapter 1037, we see the Gorosei mention a legendary Akuma no Mi that the world government has been trying to hide for centuries. At the time, many believed they were talking about Luffy's fruit, but what if there is more than one fruit with such an ancient and feared power? If Loki's is one of them, then he may have been sealed to prevent this power from emerging. And if this fruit is capable of accumulating solar energy to the point of releasing absurd explosions of power, that would make it something completely different from anything we have seen so far. Maybe it has been passed down through generations within the Elbaf royalty, being seen as a symbol of their absolute strength. But if Loki really wanted to take this power for himself, then it suggests that he was not content with just inheriting the throne. He wanted something bigger, something that could perhaps even challenge the gods themselves. If Shanks imprisoned him in a place without sunlight, then he probably already knew all of this. And if we take into account that he never acts without a concrete reason, this suggests that he saw Loki as a threat that needed to be contained before it was too late. But this raises another question. Is Loki still trapped? If he managed to escape and find a way to recover his strength, then he might be waiting for the right moment to reveal himself to the world again. And when that happens, perhaps his fury will be directed precisely at Shanks, who prevented him from achieving his goal. If this is true, then Loki's role in the story could be much greater than anyone imagined. He might not just be an exiled prince, but someone who carries such a destructive power that even the giants of Elbaf didn't want him to continue ruling. And if he shows up at some point in the future, he might be determined to show the world that his power is something that cannot be ignored. So, if this theory is correct, perhaps what we will see in the future is a Loki completely different from what many expect. He won't just be a rejected leader trying to reclaim his position, but someone who believes that his power can transform everything around him. And if he succeeds in restoring his strength, then perhaps even Shanks will realize that he might have made a mistake by merely sealing him away instead of dealing with him definitively. Loki's devil fruit, if it is indeed connected to the sun, could represent an entirely unexplored and devastating power, with implications that surpass any ability we've seen in One Piece. If we consider the sun as the primordial source of energy, this could indicate that Loki's fruit has the capacity to absorb, store, and release this energy in a formidable way. In its full manifestation, the power of this fruit could resemble a solar explosion, with the ability to release heat, light, and radiation in uncontrolled levels, affecting the entire environment around it. Imagining the impact of this, it would be as if the sun itself were within reach of whoever controls this fruit, a power that is not only destructive, but could also be used strategically, either to purify, create, or even transform the surroundings. Furthermore, the fact that this fruit depends on a specific condition, like the presence of the sun, could indicate a unique mechanic where Loki would be vulnerable in moments of darkness, but would reach his true strength under intense sunlight. This opens up a range of possibilities about how he could interact with his environment and how his power could be manipulated. Perhaps Loki's fruit not only grants destruction, but also the ability to manipulate the weather or the environment around him more deeply, generating solar storms or altering atmospheric patterns. The connection with the sun could also be symbolic, representing the ability to bring light and clarity, or even reverse cycles of darkness. This power is not limited to a mere increase in strength. It could alter the course of battles, weather, and even the perception of the world around him. And if we consider that mythical zone fruits like Luffy's are connected to divine beings and entities, Loki's fruit could represent something even older and more primordial, something that carries the weight of a forgotten era, where the sun was not just a source of energy, but a deity with control over fate. Therefore, this power, in addition to being one of the most dangerous, could be the key to unraveling ancient secrets that could rewrite the history of One Piece, completely changing the game between pirates and those who seek to dominate the world. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.